Did you know that you may have people signing up for your email list that never receive even one email from you? That can be frustrating, especially because you work so hard to get them to sign up for your email list in the first place. This week on ACC TV, we are talking about what to do and how to prevent those unconfirmed subscribers, those people that get stuck in the spam, trash, or promotions folder without you even knowing it or without them ever knowing it. They sign up for your download and then they never receive it. I'm Elisa Connor with Elisa Connor Consulting, and I show up here every week on YouTube to share with you small business marketing tips that work so that you can implement them quickly, efficiently, and gain traction with your marketing. So you can stop spending money and wasting time on things that simply don't work. If you're new to the channel, I'd love for you to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos. They usually go live on Wednesdays at about 8 a.m. Mountain. And if you hit that subscribe button, you definitely will not miss out on any of the future videos when they are released. Without further ado, let's dive in. What in the world are unconfirmed subscribers? Well, a lot of people don't even know that this little part of their list exists. But what happens is that people will sign up for your email list and then they receive an email in their inbox that says, hey, in order for us to send you what you asked for, can you confirm your subscription? I'm sure you have seen this come across your inbox. But what happens is that sometimes those emails, the first email you send, goes straight to the promotion tab or the spam filter or even the trash filter. Meaning that your new subscriber can't even get the item that they just signed up for. Now that's frustrating for you and it's really frustrating for them. And so how can we avoid this? Well, there's a few different things that you can do, and we're going to get to those in just a few minutes. But before we dive into that, I want to give you some tips to ensure that you are in compliance with GDPR, which is a giant barrel of letters put together. So I'm going to describe what GDPR is and why it matters to your business and why people have to confirm for your email list to begin with. First of all, GDPR was implemented in May of 2018, and it specifically was implemented for businesses in the European Union. So if you do any business with Europe, you are required to meet GDPR compliance. And we're going to talk about what that is in a minute. So you may be thinking, well, I don't do business with anybody in Europe. I only do business in America or in a different country. Well, here's the thing. It's only a law for the most part in the European Union right now. However, you can bet just by looking at the news and how big of an issue privacy is becoming that this is going to be implemented more often in more places, and it's better to be prepared for it than to have to go back and try and fix things later. And so right now, for sure, I know in California, Connecticut, New York, and there's one other state in the United States that requires you to ask explicit permission to send people or add people to your email list and send them your emails. When you are proactive, it's going to save you a lot of time versus trying to go back and figure out who gave you permission, who didn't give you permission. And ultimately, it's just really much better manners to just ask to begin with, because it empowers people to choose whether or not they want to be on your email list. So how can we do this without sending the double opt-in email? Most email service providers are going to automatically send a double opt-in email because they're aware of this issue, that privacy is a really big deal, and they don't want to be fined for sending emails, and they don't want you to be fined because it's thousands and thousands of dollars if you are not in compliance. And so depending on the size of your company, it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we really want to make sure that we are in compliance with asking permission to send our information to people that are signing up for our list. So email service providers will automatically send a double opt-in email. So how can you avoid it? How can you get around it so that if they're not seeing that email and they sign up for your list and they never get another email from you, how can we avoid that? And so the best way, and I'm sure you've seen it before, is by adding a checkbox to your opt-in form. So it would be their name, their email address, and then there's a little checkbox that says, hey, if you want to receive the whatever download, or if you want to it will contain a little checkbox that has some kind of verbiage that says to check this box to subscribe to our email list, and get our weekly updates and, tips and whatever it might be you want to put, our weekly email content. And if they don't check that box, you can't send them any other emails. You can only send them the download they've requested. So be very aware of that, because the way you set it up on the back end, which is going to be very dependent on which email service provider you have, you want to make sure that that box is checked, and you cannot pre-check it for them, because that little pre-check, if you have it checked for them, is actually in violation and it will not count for GDPR. So you need to be tracking like when they sign up, when they actually checked that box and agreed to have email sent to them. So just be aware of those kind of strange nuances, that you can have the checkbox, but you can't have it pre-checked. They have to check it. And oftentimes we can require it, but that means that if they don't check that box, they're not going to get the freebie. So you're going to have to make that determination, and you can send them the freebie, but then if they don't check the box, or they choose to just leave because they don't want to check the box, you'll have to decide how you want to handle that. In my opinion, if they don't check the box, the whole point of the freebie is to get them on my list. So if they don't want to check the box, then that's okay. They probably would not be a good fit for my list anyway. So the other thing that can help you with GDPR compliance is that you, by adding an unsubscribe link to the bottom of your emails. And typically, if you're with one of the big service providers, like ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, Entreport, or any of those bigger names, Drip, they're going to have the unsubscribe button built in. So when you have that, it empowers people to be able to get off your list at any time, and not continue to get emails from you if you don't want to. And so if you're just sending emails from your Gmail account, that is really dangerous, because there is no unsubscribe button there. And that means that if people don't want to get your emails, they can, there's no way for them to get off your list, because you're not using email service. You're just using Google. And so I highly recommend that if you're serious about your email marketing, that you get on with one of the different email software providers. And there are lots of options out there that you can try for free. And then you can, as your business grows, you can move to a different one. Or if your business is bigger, choose one that you can grow with. And my recommendation is either ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign. And I will link to both of those below this video. So that's a little bit about what GDPR is. The GDPR stands for General Data and Privacy Reform, or something like that. And it's basically legislation that was passed that says that consumers have the right to have their data protected and not spammed. And that is because, as you can imagine, marketers in the last 20 years have taken advantage of the information provided by people when they're opting in for free downloads or coupons or whatever it is. And they have paved the way for us to now have to swing back and be more cautious about how we're taking care of people's data, and being aware of their privacy and their right to have their data protected. So that's a little bit about it, and how to avoid it is by adding that checkbox in there. And so you may be going, okay, well, how do I do that? Well, if you are using ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign or even Kajabi, how you would do this is where the field option is for your entry point. So your first name and your email, you can add another data field. In all three of those pieces of software that I mentioned, Kajabi, ActiveCampaign, and ConvertKit, you can add a checkbox option. And with that checkbox option, you can then list out whatever your terms are. You can say, sign up here for our weekly newsletter and abundant hilarity and marketing and sales funnel tips. Mine says something like that. And then if you want more information, visit our terms and conditions page. And then you can have, sometimes they will let you link to the terms and conditions, and other times you can just have it go to your website. on our website. And so what that does is it tells them that you have specific terms and conditions of how you handle their information, and that when they check that box, they're giving you explicit permission to be able to continue to send them emails in the future. And you can then, when they check that box, you can assign it to a specific tag in your system. Mine is labeled GDPR. And then if they have that tag as a subscriber, that they have clicked that box and said, yes, you have permission to email me. So that if you ever have to go back, you can say, all of these people checked the box, they said yes, and now you are in compliance. So that's what GDPR is. That's how you can avoid the oblivion of the unconfirmed subscriber and ensure that if people are signing up for your list and you're putting in all of the effort and time and sometimes money to promote your free download, that the initial email you're sending them isn't getting stuck in spam, promotions, or the trash folder. And if you've tuned in to these videos before, I always give you a bonus tip at the end of the video. And this week's bonus tip is a good one. So if you're not familiar where those unconfirmed subscribers are, you may go in there and think, oh, well, I can just go ahead and email them again. And I just want to let you know, you cannot. If they are unconfirmed because they got that double opt-in email and they never clicked on it, you cannot email them. So it's just best if you go in and select them all and delete them and get them off your list, because you do not have permission to email them because they never confirmed their subscription. So it was then up to them if they come back and they sign up for another opt-in or somehow get in touch with you to get back on your list. So I just wanted to give you that quick tip to keep your list clean. And if you do have those unconfirmed subscribers, you might as well just go ahead and select them all and hit the delete button, because you cannot, under the GDPR Act, you really don't have permission to email them. And if you want more information about how to clean up your list, I did a video about that last week, and I will link it up here, and you can click on that and learn more about how to clean up your list so that you have a healthy, well-maintained, and vibrant email list, and you are not being doomed by the email gods because you keep sending emails to people that don't want them. So that's it for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up and tell other people about it that it might be useful for. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great week, that you stay happy, healthy, and well, and I will see you next week. Take care.